Hare Krishna, Namaste, Chapter 18, which is entitled as Sannyasa Yoga. Sloka 3, Part 1. Tyājyaṁ doṣa-vad karma prāhur manīṣiṇaḥ yajña-dāna-tapaḥ-karma tyājyaṁ iti cāpare. In the previous sloka, we learnt about two thoughts which differ with each other. One argue that kamya karmas aim at acquiring the fruits of one's action and hence causes bondage. Therefore, kamya karmas are not suitable for those who are hankering for moksha. That was type 1. Kāmyānām karmanām nyāsam sannyāsam kavayo viduhu. Whereas the second type hold that if these are performed without hankering for the reward, nitya karma, naimitika karma, as well as kamya karma, they will cause no evil. On the contrary, they will only do good for the performer. Therefore, one should do all the three karmas. Sarva karma palatyāham prāhustyāham vichakṣanāha. Type 1 said, give up only kamya karma, perform nitya karma and naimitika karma, because kamya karma has fault in it. Fault is, it gives material benefit which entangles one into the material world. Type 2 argued, it is not problem doing kamya karma, it is a problem with the result that one receives from kamya karma. The nitya karma, naimitika karma also has some small benefits, but the performer doesn't pay attention to those small benefits. He renounces those benefits that comes by performing nitya karma and naimitika karma. Likewise, one can also perform kamya karma by renouncing the rewards. This is what we learnt from the previous sloka. Now, sloka 3 gives another two types of philosophers who have two different views. The first one, or in the sequence, the third one, argues saying yaga, yajña, etc. inherently have a measure of evil in them. Therefore, all these three should be given up. What he says is, the karmas have some faults in it. Therefore, one should not do those karmas which is mentioned in the Vedas. None of them. And type 4, mentioned in the sloka, refute type 3, saying there's no way that the karmas mentioned in the Vedas could be of fault. There is no blemish in them. Therefore, all the karmas need to be undertaken. Now let's understand the third type, or the first one in this sloka, who argues saying none of the karmas that mentioned in the Vedas need to be performed. Within that type, we are going to see another type. So we are going to see two types of type 3. Both of them says not to do the karmas mentioned in the Vedas, but they differ with the reasoning why one should not do the karmas mentioned in the Vedas. The first one in type 3 are Sankhyas, and the second one in type 3 are Advaitis. Sankhya philosophy is established by Kapila, whereas the Advaita philosophy was established by Shankara. In this session, we'll learn about Sankhya's viewpoint on Sannyasa Tyaga. Let's first understand the meaning of the sloka. Eke manīṣiṇaḥ, one group of people, karma, all work, doṣa-vad being beset with blemish tyājyaṁ are fit to be given up, abandoned, ahuhu, say that. Cāpare, others well versed in Shastra, yajña-dāna-tapaḥ-karma, sacrifice, charity, austerity, and such other Vedic actions, na tyājyaṁ, ought not to be given up, prāhur, they say. Translation: some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as faulty. Yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. Here the term AK refers to two types of people who are aligned in their thought, but they vary with the reasons. One is known as Sankhyas, sage Kapila's system, who does not accept the Vedas. Another subtype of this one is those who accept the Vedas but also agrees to Kapila's system that one should not be performing any karmas that mentioned in the Vedas. The Sankhyas who do not accept the Vedas, and there are some Vaidikas means those who accept the Vedas, nevertheless accept to the Sankhya system, stating that one who aspires for liberation should not undertake yagas, yajña, any of such activities. Now let's only focus on type 3A. There are totally 4 types. We covered 2 types in Sloka 2, and we are going to cover another 2 types in Sloka 3. In Sloka 3, the first type, which is type 3, has 2 different schools of thought. One is known as Avaidikas, who does not accept the Vedas. They are Sankhyas. The second one is Vaidikas, who accept the Vedas but also accept Sankhya that one should not do the karmas. They are Advaitis, also known as Mayavadis. So type 3A says, give up all 3 karmas, activities, nitya, naimittika, kamya karmas. As soon as some of us hear this one, we may be happy. Here comes my religion, my philosophy, which says to give up all the karmas, which is the easiest path. We don't need to do anything that's mentioned in the Vedas. But that's not Krishna's religion. We will learn that later. Now let's focus on this one, where it says give up all 3 activities. They are Sankhya Matam by Kapila Muni. We have explained about Sankhya philosophy in the 7th chapter, 12th verse. Repeating them here will take another 2 sessions, so kindly refer to 7.12. What we will focus here is why does Sankhya says that one should give up all the karmas that's mentioned in the Vedas. First thing is that they are not believer of Vedas and also not believer of Ishvara, God. Therefore, it is not a surprise that they are saying to give up the karmas mentioned in the Vedas. Their reasoning is tyājyaṁ doṣa-vad yajña, yaga, tapaḥ, dharma, dāna, anything should be given up. Why? Why should one give up all those things? Anything that's mentioned in the Vedas has some himsa. Himsa means violence. Therefore, it must be given up. What are the violence that's been mentioned here by Sankhyas? Those are the animal sacrifices. Hence, it is of fault. Therefore, one must give up the kamya karma. Well, that answers kamya karma part. What about nitya karma and naimittika karma? Why should one give up those 2? What fault does that have? By performing nitya karma, naimittika karma, one gets too much attached to it. That attachment, if it is not met, disappointment comes, which turns to anger. Also, these sort of karmas creates anxiety. Also, by performing, one may start thinking great by comparing with others. Therefore, even nitya karma and naimittika karma needs to be given up. In general, we see in the world that the living entities are put into violent condition, torture situation. Any sane person will not like to see the animals, other living entities getting tortured. The Vedas teach us the same. If one needs to attain certain thing, they have to sacrifice certain animal. So activities involves killing of living entities will bring in contamination, makes one impure. It really doesn't matter why we are killing, but killing itself is not auspicious. Therefore, one should not do any karmas mentioned in the Vedas. By killing animals, one gets pāpa karma. Also, there are many prāyachitta, meaning to nullify certain sinful action. There are certain rituals has been mentioned in the Vedas. That means it is very obvious that there will be sin, and to nullify the sin, one has to do prāyachitta. In that case, why even one have to engage in doing such act in first place? One is better off by not doing the karmas mentioned in the Vedas. This is Sankhya's argument. Whereas Shankara also agrees that one should not do the karmas, but not for the same reason of Sankhya's, but for a different reason. That we will learn in the next session.
Namaste. Hare Krishna.